come light the menorah. Let's have a party, we'll all dance to horror. Gather round the table.
How are you? Good. How are you? Their mind fixed on their destination. With victory they made their way. Hanukkah, so much Hanukkah. To celebrate Hanukkah. Put on your yarmulke. Here comes Hanukkah. So much Hanukkah. To celebrate Hanukkah.
We've gotten spoiled. We've gotten very spoiled. I mean, we have a right to gloat. We really do. It's just, something like I have to realize. She is
Children will play. Happy Hanukkah! You're listening to Honey Maleki and Ellie Martin.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, please take a few steps in. Come on in. Get close. Get close. It's Hanukkah. It's a time for warmth and a time for community. Gather around. Happy Hanukkah, everyone.
Happy Hanukkah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you to each and every one of you for coming out tonight on this very special night, the last night of Hanukkah, where we'll be lighting up the entire menorah to celebrate this holiday, which we've been celebrating for 8 days already. But when it's about bringing light, it's not enough to celebrate for 1 or 2 nights. We need to celebrate for 8 nights, because that is what Hanukkah is all about. Bringing light, bringing goodness and kindness into a world which is at times, and especially at times like this, very, very dark and needs as much light as we can bring. Over 2,000 years ago, Israel was conquered by the Syrian Greek army, and the Emperor Antiochus outlawed Jewish practice in the land of Israel.
Very good,
He outlawed Jewish practice in the land of Israel, which we take for granted as one of our inalienable rights to practice our religion as we see fit, to celebrate our traditions and celebrate our religion. But this emperor was trying to squash Judaism, was trying to destroy it. So at first many of the Jewish people went into hiding, practicing religion in secret. But that's no way to practice religion, right? We're supposed to be proud of who we are, proud of where we come from. So a band of Jewish people got together. They called themselves the Maccabees, led by one very brave Judah the Maccabee. And they stood up for what they believed was right and what they believed was just, and fought back against the Greek army. And the odds were stacked against them, more than 300 to 1. So it took tremendous courage and tremendous conviction on their part to stand for what they believed in. And that's when the first miracle happened. Right? It must have been an act of God, because with those type of odds against them, it's what we call a miracle. So that's the first lesson of Hanukkah, from the first miracle of Hanukkah, is even when it seems difficult, even when, the chances of success are very slim, we need to stand up for what's right, stand up for those less fortunate, stand up for those people who are oppressed and denied their basic rights as human beings. The second lesson of Hanukkah comes from the second miracle of Hanukkah. When the Jewish people reconquered the land of Israel and came back into the Holy Temple in Jerusalem, they wanted to light the menorah, they wanted to light the candelabra to celebrate bringing light into what was for them a very, very dark situation. And finding the temple in shambles and not being able to find any oil to light the menorah with, they were about to despair. And they found one small jug of oil, one jug that would only light the menorah for one day. And it would take them at least 8 days to get new oil. So at this point in the story, many of us would throw up our hands, right? We've come this far, but what can you do? When the darkness is that great, you can despair. But they didn't despair. They had this vision, and they had this hope, and they had guts. And they went ahead and lit the menorah with what they had. They did their part, their small part, to bring light into the darkness, and that's when the second miracle happened. Their faith caught fire, and the menorah lit for one night, and a second night, and a third night, and a fourth, and a fifth, and a sixth, and a seventh, and finally an eighth night. At that point, they had more oil with which to light the menorah, and their mission of bringing light into this world was completed. And the lesson from the second miracle of Hanukkah is that no matter how dark the situation may seem, we need to do our part, which is to bring light into the world, to perform acts of goodness and kindness, random acts of goodness and kindness, acts of goodness and kindness to people who we don't know or people who we don't agree with. Bring that light into the world, do your part, and then we have faith that God will do the rest, right? Once we've done what we can do. And like the Maccabees in ancient times, in days like today, when the situation is specifically bleak, when we see acts of hatred in the world all around us, and most specifically last night in New York at a Hanukkah party, it's at times like this that we need to do our utmost to bring light into the world. Not to despair, not to cower in fear, but to fight back with light, to fight back with kindness. So if you're thinking about how you can make a difference in the world, how you can try to alleviate some of the pain and some of the suffering that we see around us, how to brighten some of the darkness, bear in mind that when you're in a very dark room, one small candle can push away a whole lot of darkness. So all it takes is one action. And I encourage everyone here to meditate upon that as we light the menorah. Bear in mind one action that you are going to do. Make it specific, make it real. Think of a person that you know who needs it. Think of a place in the world that's dark that needs your light. And resolve that as soon as possible you will be the light for that person in their life. You will be the light in that situation, and you will do your part to brighten this world. And if all of us, right, a lot of small people in a lot of small places do a lot of small acts of goodness and kindness, the cumulative effect will be massive. And we'll merit to see a day when we don't have any more suffering, when we don't have any more pain, and when the world is truly bright with a light of goodness and kindness. I'd like to thank our city manager, Mr. Tom Ambrosino, for coming out tonight. Yay. I'd like to thank our city council, represented by Deborah Zabit. She's here tonight. Oh, Naomi Zabit, I'm sorry. Naomi Zabit is here tonight, representing the city council. And all of you beautiful folks, thank you for being here. We'll hear a few words from our city manager before we go ahead and light the menorah.
Well, thank you, Rabbi. I just want to say on behalf of the city, and I know with Naomi's blessing, that we just wish you a happy Hanukkah and a very happy New Year. I was saying to someone how, well, first of all, I'm so glad that we have this tradition that started with the rabbi of publicly celebrating this magnificent event. And I think it's very important for cities and towns to celebrate the traditions that are important to their residents. That really makes a difference in a community. And in this community, although these events took place 2,000 years ago, I really think they have relevance here in Chelsea. The story, the tale of a community of faith through perseverance, overcoming and throwing off the yoke of tyranny and oppression, that's something that means a lot to the current residents of the city of Chelsea. And I think they and we can all take comfort in knowing that with great faith, we can overcome even the most insurmountable of obstacles. And so I just want to thank the rabbi for again pulling this together, and wish you on behalf of the city a very happy Hanukkah.
Thank you very much. Before you step down, you got to come back up, because we use the center candle on the menorah to light all the rest of the candles. It's called the shamash. It's the light bringer, and you've been a light to this city, you've been a light to our community, so we'll ask you to step up here with me and light the shamash on the menorah. All right, thank you very much. And I'll sing the blessings. Those of you who know how to sing the blessings, sing along with me. Let me hear you. And if you don't know the blessings, I'll give you a short translation of them so that you know what they mean. The first blessing is, "Blessed are you, God, King of the universe, who commanded us to light the Hanukkah menorah." And the second blessing is, "Blessed are you, God, King of the universe, who made miracles for us in those days, and who continues to make miracles for us until today." Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Chanukah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asa nisim lavotzeinu bayamim hahem b'azman hazeh. All right, please join me if you know the song. Ma'otzor Yeshuati Lechanavet Mishabeach Tikon Betefinati V'sham Toda Nezabeach Li'ez Tachin Matbeach Mitzor Hamnabeach Azegmor Beshir Mizmor Chanukah HaMizbeach Azegmor Beshir Mizmor Chanukah HaMizbeach. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please join us for some delicious latkes and sufganiyot, some hot cider to warm up. Stick around, enjoy the music, say hello to someone who you haven't met yet. That's what community building is all about. And have a very, very happy Hanukkah and a happy New Year.
Oh Hanukkah, come light the menorah. Let's have a party, we'll all dance the hora. Gather round the table, we'll give you a treat. Let's evolve in it to play with the lot gets to eat. And while we are playing, the candles are burning low. One for each night they shared, a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. One for each night they shared, a sweet light to remind us of days long ago.